Napola Symphony, Poet Picado, Oshlado, Uslane, Umaydi, Inin Mini Cresi, Al Alon Osi, Ilimi Shalafalama, Yerodi Sinde, Alamai Laile, Loi Laile. I sing when I bring, and I bring when I sing. For singing was the way that God taught the children that they must communicate with their creator gods. And so the children sang and sang and sang. And everywhere they sang, I sent messages in the songs that they sang. For that was the way that the rejoicing of God was given to the children of God, that they may hear and know the ways of God, and find the way to know how God speaks, that they may understand what God means by all the things that God says. And the children did not know why they loved singing, and why it is that everywhere they sang, they brought joy to the hearts of those who heard them sing. For singing was the way to the reverence of God in the holiness of God that was given to the children of God. In all the ways my children lost the sacred tongues that I had given unto them, they also lost the way to know how I, your God, was within them. And all men walk this world, never knowing that the life that they all have is God. The life that everything has is God. And that is why I said unto them, there is none other than God. There is none other than life. And life is everywhere. And life is in everything. And so when my children did no longer know the way that I am within them, it is because they do not know that they exist, because I exist as life in them. And so these things I give you to teach and to preach, for they follow the wayward ways of a wayward set of tribes on earth, and they lost the way to know how I am, that I am, that I am in them. The consciousness of Mother God is a consciousness that was lost to all of the world. And when the consciousness of the Mother Creator God was lost in all of the world, man lost the way to know what the word God means. And I told them that they must wait, and that they must not in the meantime trust in any man. And everyone, including my children, did not learn the way to wait. And they placed their trust in the men that we told them never to place their trust in. And when they disobeyed what was given unto them, this whole world changed. The divine order that is in the world, that was in the world, was changed. And so the world became a chaotic place, for everything went out of sync with each other. And so man did not understand why it is that he experienced so many turmoils in the world, so many disasters in the world, so many devastating things in the world. Why his life was always plagued with conflicts and turmoils and illnesses and impediments. For everything that changed went in the wayward way, and everything that went in the wayward way found the decaying way. There are many things that your God has not shared with man because man was not worthy to receive the things of your mother God that were sacred and divine. And every man came into this world never recognizing that in all the ways we said unto our children, you are the world and the world is you. They did not understand what we told them, that everything that exists outside of the world exists within you. And when we said unto them, know thyself, we wanted our children to know that when you begin to take cognizance of yourself, you will begin to recognize that you are made up of so many different things within you, all working in different ways, but all working in harmony, but all working in the togetherness to become one like you are one. And these things have not been known. For man sought to understand the things outside of himself and not to understand the way in which he is like the things outside of himself. You are all gods, I told my children. You are all gods. What it means to be God. What does it mean to be God? And every man says, with God all things are possible, and that is true. And there's nothing that God cannot do, and that is true. And it is God that created heaven and earth and everything that therein is, and that is true. And God said to the children, is it not true that you too can make things possible? Is it not true that you too can create from yourself? And is it not true that you can be wherever you wish to be, like God is? Because to be God is to be in the full consciousness of you as life. To be like God is to be in the true consciousness of you as life. And in every way you are life. You are both seen and unseen, visible and invisible, like God is. The search for the meaning of God begins within and never without. And wherever man went, and my children went, they began the search for God outside of themselves. They were looking for God in places that God did not exist. And they searched every part of earth, trying to find out how God is. And we had said to our children, find me first in you. For when you come to know yourself, you would come to know the way in which you are God's. And everywhere my children went, they followed every tribe on earth in the search that went outside of themselves and never within themselves. In searching for the things outside of themselves, they found the things that became the apple of their eye. And everything that became the apple of their eye, my children also went after. And they did not understand what I told them. Like a serpent, you were tempted in the way in which you began to wrap yourself around the things that you felt were important to you. And every way you wrapped yourself around it, you also consumed it like the serpent does. And every way you consumed it, you become just like it. And so you were never ever able to return back to the path in which you could have discovered the things that were of God, that were within you. All of man's journey on earth is a journey that highlighted the way in which all men began by seeking the things outside of themselves that are lesser than themselves, finding it, being entrapped by it, never being able to come out of it in order that they may return back to themselves. I have shown every man in the world that wherever he went, he pursued everything outside of himself, lesser than himself. And man could not have understood, neither did my children understand, that when you pursue the things that are lesser than yourself, you become just as lesser as they are. And that is why I showed them everything outside of you end up the same way, like you end up becoming nothing. Because all the things that you created from yourselves are the things that you also placed above yourselves. Because you developed the apple of the eye taste for everything that means nothing to you. Absolutely nothing. I showed them that even the lowly creatures on earth do not crave for the things that man does. They build no castles, they drive no fancy cars, they live in no fancy houses, they wear no fancy clothes, they wear no trinkets on their bodies. And I did it deliberately to show them just how low you have sunk. For even these lowly creatures are never seeking the things that you seek, that become nothing to you in the end. And everywhere that man found himself going in the wrong way, my children ended up going into the wayward way too. The way to God was never without. The way to God is within. And when I gave the many to speak in tongues, as you do, it was the way that I said to them, if you can speak in a tongue that no man can teach you, that you can find in no books in the world or anywhere outside of you, how is it that you don't come to recognize that there's a greatness in you that you are yet to discover? You can't give yourself the sacred tongues of God. No man can give himself to speak the tongues of your Father and your Mother God. And in all the many ways that I said to you, begin by speaking my tongues. That is what I wanted them to understand. That you have to first seek that greatness within you in order for you to be able to determine how it is that you were created as gods. Everywhere that my children went, they lost the way to me. And we did not give them the way to return back to us. But we said unto them, we will send you our son, and our son will teach you the way to know the way to return back to us. And even then, they went looking for others that did not look like themselves. And I heard them say, Jesus is this, and Krishna is this, and Brahmin is this, and Buddha is this, and Allah is this. And I looked at my children, and I asked my children, do any of these people look like you? If you are my chosen children, then whoever I would choose would be like you. How is it that you're looking for another? How is it? And I told them, why look ye for another? Why? Why? My son would look just like you, because I am just like you. For you are my children, and I am your God. And all over the world, I saw my children go again outside of themselves, looking for others outside of themselves, and never knowing that in every way they would go the wayward way. They will never ever find a way to know how it is that they are the chosen children of God. Inimini karatum bo shile farkatonti sikin tapara rokoro sakarantum paragnesi falokoro siki, and everything that I say to you and I give to you. I give you the way that is great and almighty. For I give you to command the things of the world that is ours. For everything belongs to Mother God and Father God. And to show my children how it is that when they walked in this world as gods, they commanded everything that is on this earth, because everything is lesser than them as gods. My children knew not what they lost, for they could not remember what they had. And because my children knew not the powers that they had, they do not know how it is that they have found themselves in this downtrodden state in a valley that is always taking them the way of Jehoshaphat. It is the valley of bones. It is the valley of bones. And whenever man is reduced to bones, everyone who sees the bones knows that that which he sees is a skeleton of what he used to be. And that is what your God wanted the children to recognize. The dry bones illustrates to every one of my children that they have been reduced to become nothing. For everything that was substantive of life in them left. And the bones serve as a reminder to those who remained that they will become a skeleton of what they used to be. Bringing the consciousness of God to the children of God is to awaken my children unto the true knowledge of God in them and them as God in the world. Returning to them that which they have lost, that is the spirits of the Son, allows them to be able to communicate with the divine. For in the absence of the divinity of Mother God and Father God and the children of God, my children is still in darkness, and they are still in darkness. In giving you to teach and to preach, I gave you to awaken them into the consciousness that would allow them to be able to access that which is hidden within them, that is already in them, that would have enabled them to be able to know the way that they are the children of the true God. They must believe in the things that I give unto you to say to them, and they must follow the ways that I have given unto you, for my children are stubborn in every way that I had spoken to them, and had sent many before you to speak to them, to teach them, to preach to them. They did not hearken unto them. For I have sent many servants to them to tell them the things that they must know, and for them to do the things that I had said to them you must do. And I have said unto you, my son, my children have ears, but they yet do not hear. I give them eyes to see, but yet they do not see. And in every way that they follow the wayward ways of the tribes of earth, I kept showing them, there shall be nothing good that shall come to you from them, for they have nothing good left in them. I have said unto you to tell them, it is time for them to turn away from all these ways. It is time for them to come out from amongst them. It is also time for them to say to them, farewell, out of our lands. For my children do not know the way in which they brought their many demon gods unto their lands. And every way the demon gods are in the lands of my children do not know why it is they feel the weight of their evil upon them. My children cannot find a way to liberate themselves from every evil that surrounds them that they do not see, they cannot see, and will not see, because they had lost the divinity of your mother God and your father God. I have given to you that in every way that I have said to you, go you into these lands. So will you exorcise every demonic spirit in the lands of my children. Now the land may be dedicated after being consecrated and being returned back to the way that I had given it unto them. For my children could not remember the rituals of sanctification that I gave to them when they came here from the sun. For they engage in all manner of foolish rituals that I have shown them have no power to do anything that would release them from the bondage in which they find themselves. For in all the lands of my children, I see them practice all manner of sorcery, saying unto each other, these are the traditions of our elders. I say unto you, you tell them, these are no traditions of your elders. These are the results of blood covenants that they made with demon gods. And the demon gods placed them as their own servants. And they passed all these things on to you. And you still cannot see that it doesn't matter what you do with them, you are never able to extricate yourself from the impoverishment that you find yourselves in. These are not of your God. And you must tell them, all these foolish things that you do, all these foolish covenants that you have made and continue to follow as your traditions, abandon them, because they were the yoke that was placed around your necks that allow you still to be in the position that you are. These are not of your mother God, these are not of your father God, these are not of the gods of the sun. These are the rituals of the demons on earth that the tribes of earth released from beneath the earth, that came to them and presented themselves as their gods, and they made them pledge that they will serve them. And that is why you find in all your lands, even when they come to your own lands, they are able to live the choicest lives that they wish to live. And you can never live it in your own land, neither in their own lands, because you did not understand what happened to you. You followed the wayward ways of the many who strayed away from the sacred and divine path that we had given unto them. And the sacred rituals of the sun were never, ever known again to my children. In every way that you have given unto your disciples the sacred rituals of the sun, let them bear testament to all those that you give for them to go to the power of the rituals that you had given to them. Let them go forth to testify to the power of that which you had given to them, and testify in the way in which they will see them work in the mights and powers that you have invested in them through the rituals that you had given to them. I give you the power of life and death, for in every way that you go, in the judgment that I have given to come to mankind, there are those that will never ever enter into my kingdom. And I have said unto you, as you have said unto them, there be desolation in all the lands of the heathens, the Hebrews, and the Gentiles. For everywhere you would cause everything to be destroyed, you would show them why it is that your God was never a God that could ever be mocked. There shall be no heathen, Hebrew, nor Gentile in my kingdom. Everything that they have done will I reduce to rubble. And in every way that I will say farewell and goodbye to them, I shall not only destroy their bodies, I shall dissolve the spirit that I had loaned to them as the life that I had given to them. And they are those of my children, who I have said unto you, my son, never, never, never will the Lord thy God entertain them in the kingdom to come. For I saw the many of my children in the evil that they had done, in the ways in which they have gone, and I knew that they will never, ever come to know me, nor come to know the way in which paradise would be restored unto the rest of the children of God. It is finished. It is finished. And in every way that I have given, that the many in the world shall begin to prophesy that you are in the world, my children will come to know the way in which I say unto them, your king walked among you, and you did not know who he was. I sent him to you, and you turned away from him because you did not know what he brought to you. And in every way in all the world, my children will hear that which is being said. They will know that they were truly in the dark of all things that God had given for them to know. In knowing who you are, the children will know who they are. And the tribes of earth will know what they have done. For when they know who the Son is and who the children are, they will know that they had grievously offended your God. For the children of God suffered at the hands of the tribes of earth. Alamati shulu farakansi skint ar. Imtimir karakunse karatum parakaratise farakunta barandi. And shalakarakoto sifarakantumani kristakantumani hisakana war seeking a God says, look, I told them to seek that they may find. Let my children began to search for God within themselves. Let my children seek me in them. Let my children find me in them. For when they would have found me, they would have found all that which lies in the possibilities given unto them. Ashano Maida, Istamo Kantita, Alafrikan Dukundata. It is done. It is done. It is done.